Hello Year 9s, welcome to Mr. Chen's classroom again. So today in math, we will continue with our trigonometry. So with trigonometry, I'm gonna focus more on the revisions, especially the tangent, cosine, and sine, and present you with a few questions including the complex one as well. So let's begin. Trigonometry. Keywords number 1, trigonometric ratio. So if you have watched previous videos, you probably know trigonometric ratio is the comparison between the two lengths out of the right angle triangle. Yeah. So in right angle triangle, obviously we have the hypotenuse, and then we have the reference angle, which in this case will be that one. Yep. And we have opposite and adjacent. So if the reference angle is here, the opposite will be literally the opposite of the right angle triangle of the reference angles, which is the one which is opposite, and your adjacent will be the length next to the shoulder length next to the right angle triangle, next to your reference angle, which is this one. So that will be your adjacent. Okay. And of course, our hypotenuse is the longest one. So now that you got this out of the way, we will talk about the trigonometric ratio, which there are 3 of them: tangent, cosine, and sine. As we know, tangent is literally opposite divided by your adjacent. Cosine is your adjacent over hypotenuse, and your sine is your opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, I'm gonna just write an acronym for it because it's not enough space. So SOHCAHTOA, if you still remember, SOH is your sine equal to opposite over hypotenuse. CA is your cosine equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And your last one is TOA, which is tangent equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So SOHCAHTOA. Sorry, I should have written them according to the order, but you will get used to it. It doesn't matter. So now Year 9s, I'm going to quickly show you a revision question on how to find tangent, cosine, and sine ratio based on right angle triangle. So for example, I have this right angle triangle here, and then I am going to put some number on it. The hypotenuse here will be 25 centimeters. That will be 20 centimeters, and the other shoulder length will be 15 centimeters. So let's say the reference angle is right there. Okay, so the theta is right there. That will tell me straight away that is your hypotenuse. That is the opposite, and that shoulder length will be your adjacent. Okay, so in order to find the ratio for tangent, let's begin with tangent, TOA. So for tangent theta in this case will be obviously your opposite over adjacent, and your opposite here is 15 centimeters, and your adjacent here is 20 centimeters. Okay, so it will give you a value of 0.75 after you divide 15 by 20 centimeters. So that tells you the tangent theta, the trigonometric ratio for this right angle triangle specifically is 0.75. Now, if we are going to find cosine theta is k, which is c is your cos and a is your adjacent and over h. So your adjacent is 20 centimeters and your hypotenuse is 25 centimeters. Okay, so from there you need to use your calculators, or if you can do it by your head, in your head, go ahead. 20 divided by 25 is 0.8. So the trigonometric ratio of cos theta is 0.8. And lastly, we have your sine theta. Okay, so sine theta here, about for bear in mind, cos theta and tangent theta, they're all referring to based on that angle, reference angle. Okay, so it pretty much means what is the ratio of tangent from that angle specifically. So you have to from there you have to obviously know your opposite and your adjacent and your hypotenuse to be able to work that out. Alright, back to sine theta. Sine theta is equal to your or opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite in that angle specifically is 15, okay, centimeters, over hypotenuse is 25 centimeters. So 15 divided by 25 will be 0.6. So your sine theta is 0.6 from that reference angle specifically. Alright, so good work. We're gonna move on to 2 more questions. So now the next question will involve one missing angle. Alright, so let's pretend one of the shorter length is not one of this one of the angle one of the length is not given. How are you gonna do that? So I'm gonna erase that. I'm gonna actually erase that and then delete that. And actually give you another right angle triangle. Okay, now the reference angle is right here. In this case we have alpha, which is the same as your theta. It's just another way of calling it. So we have 24 centimeters and x centimeters. So in this case, first you're gonna have to find out which one of these can actually be used, whether that one, or that one. So I will totally quickly write them out myself if I'm doing this question. So I know that is your hypotenuse, and I know that is your opposite, and that is your adjacent. So straight away it highlighted to me that this is given and this is not given, but that is literally blank. So I know if I have to find it, I probably will have to use sine. Okay, because sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite here is your x and hypotenuse here is your 24. So the question here is asking if sine theta is equal to 1/3, what is the length of x? So as we know, the x here is referring to the opposite. Okay, so we don't know what that is. That's what we're looking for. But we do know sine theta is equal to 1/3. So that means this one divided by that one the answer will be 1/3. So from there we put the number in. So 1/3 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Since sine theta is equal to 1/3, okay, or sine alpha, doesn't matter. And we know hypotenuse here is 24, so 1/3 equal to opposite over 24. Okay, that's next step. From there, we know that 1/3 is equal to 0, or opposite divided by 24. So we need to get rid of that divided by 24 by multiplying it by 24. So, and we have to do it on both sides. And so opposite, after you finish with all the calculations, opposite will give you 8, which is 8 centimeters. So from there we know our x is equal to 8 centimeters. That is how you find your sine theta or any of the length if one of them is given, and also if the ratio is given. Please write down all your confused questions and make sure you have your notes for next lesson. Alright? Thank you for listening and peace out.